I'm Jennifer Sinessa. You're watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by our in-house doctor, Dr. Darren Green, and today he's answering your social media questions. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good. Well, our first question comes from Facebook.
Right.
It's from a beauty therapist. She wants to know if both a toenail fungus and athlete's foot can be treated with the same medication. She gives an example and says Mycota cream. What other antifungals would be good to recommend, preferably zero schedule medications? As far as she knows, the difference is just the location of the fungus. Therefore, she assumes the same treatment applies. She wants to double check with you.
And a very good question. A lot of the spas and nail bars have signs up saying, if you have a fungal infection, please refrain from making a booking until it's fully treated before we can actually help you. And the reason for that is the spread of fungus happens quite readily. You can imagine athlete's foot, for example, in gymnasiums where people shower, use the same showers, and the fungus then grows on the shower floor. And despite them spraying disinfectants and treating the showers, obviously that's the favorable environment for any fungus to grow. Fungus loves dark and moist places. And that's the bottom line. Why they love growing between the toes, for example, is because there's perspiration between the toes. There's a lack of sunlight between the toes. And obviously the dead skin that gathers there as well, that often gets sloughed off as time goes on. You must imagine that's the perfect housing ground for the growth of fungus. So what she needs to understand is that you often just have a local, superficial or topical fungal infection of the skin, which does sometimes respond to a topical agent. And a lot of them end with Zole, like Candidazole, for example, fluconazole cream, and so forth. Others are spores, like Medaspore, Mycota, etc., Lamisil, a lot of them out there. And they're all very effective for topical infections. Now, the strength of the antifungal agent in them differs. So on certain parts of the body, you can't go and use certain preparations that are really strong. They'll actually damage the skin more than help you. When it comes to nail bed infections specifically, they are very difficult to treat. And in our experience, we see that they don't just respond with a superficial cream within a week or so. Very often, they need extensive systemic treatment. And by that, I mean that the patient will need to take an oral antifungal agent over a period of time, up to 6 weeks, to get rid of it completely. Often, if the nail bed is damaged considerably, the nail grows out with the damage that's occurred, and the new nail that's coming back, obviously once the infection is cleared, will then start looking a bit better as time goes on. But it's a slow process. And the ladies that love their sandals, it affects their image quite badly when they've got a fungal infection, because you almost have like dents and little bumps on the nail itself. So you don't get that nice smooth finish on the nail bed either for a while. So remember as well, if your athlete's foot is not responding to a topical antifungal agent, you might need to go onto a systemic antifungal agent. And there are quite a few on the market at the moment. There are ones that we use that are like diflucan, which we use once weekly for a period of 6 weeks. It's a simple tablet, once a week for 6 weeks. However, some of the resistant substrains of fungus need extensive treatment with drugs like griseofulvin, for example, and those often have to be taken rigorously for a period of 6 weeks. So your compliance is essential to get rid of it, as well as the hygiene of drying your toes, drying the nails properly after showering and bathing, etc., and not sharing obviously things like flip-flops and sandals with people that do have fungal infection. And I think that's what she needs to advise her clients on doing as well, and also apply some of those basic principles to the spas.
Now, if you leave a fungal infection untreated, will it clear up on its own?
Most cases not. In most cases it gets worse, and you find a lot of permanent damage on the nail bed itself, where structurally the nail becomes deformed and looks very unpleasant. The nail itself can then die off eventually as well. So you need to keep that in mind. With athlete's foot, often because of the untreated athlete's foot and the skin condition, you get cracks and exposure to external bugs and bacterial infections, which are secondary to the athlete's foot, the fungal infection. And then you end up needing treatment for cellulitis, which is a soft tissue infection that spreads through the deeper layers of the skin. which sometimes even results in you needing to be admitted for intravenous therapy. The other thing about fungus that's quite interesting is the fact that it loves sugar. So people that get recurrent candida, thrush, fungal infections must take in mind that they love sugar. Decrease your sugar intake and starve the fungus of sugar to help get rid of it.
Well, there you have it. If you have fungus, try and starve it of sugar. If you have any questions for Dr. Darren Green, let us know what those are in the comment section below this video.